Hello, everybody. We're here again today with another player from Nightmare on the third attempt at trying. The first time he was exhausted from starting college, as we all are when we start college. The second time his internet broke. But the third time is the charm here. I'm here with Infekted,
My
tank
bad.
extraordinaire for Nightmare and Winthrop University. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Long day of scrims.
Are you scrimming? How often are you scrimming with Nightmare now? Especially now, like before collegiate is starting.
So we've been double blocking every day.
Mm-hmm.
At least like the past week, this week, we've just straight up just double block every day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like one off day a week, but other than that, just yeah, it's two
What
blocks.
how big is the sort of bubble for scrims of the top North American teams? Like how many teams are sort of in that?
So I'd say us and NRG scrim a lot, and
Makes
then
sense.
it's more around like timeless and then TSM for us. And then if we can get like a Toronto block, like they'll give us like a block like every now and then. I think
Mm.
those are like the most teams that we mostly scrim. And
So it's
like
like
sometimes we'll scrim EU as well, but the ping is a little bit hard.
yeah,
But
it's like those are the five NA
yeah,
teams. Like you're not
yeah.
necessarily scrimming
Like
like Citrus or like a
no, not
yeah.
like the like timeless TSM and NRG are like our main three, and
Got
then
it.
like ENTS and like Toronto are like sprinkled there like from time to time.
Hmm. How big would you say the gap is between like those kind of presumptive top five North American teams and then maybe like the next three or four?
So Toronto's in a league of their own
Right.
for sure, and then I think it's a tier break. Yeah, Toronto tier break. And then I think we're right. I think S and NRG are actually like really, really close.
Hmm.
Like I think we're pretty much 50-50 even. So I think we're in a tier as well. And then under that is like the TSM and then Timeless. And then I think that's another tier break as well. And then it's like everyone else.
Hmm.
But I don't think like the tier break between us and TSM and Timeless is like that big. Like
Yeah.
it's like I think it's like pretty big, but they like TSM and Timeless are still like pretty good. Like
Hmm.
it's never gonna be like a free win against them for sure.
Yeah, I asked Zira this. Your match against Timeless, I thought it was less close than, or it was less close than I thought it was going to be. Rather, is that a feeling that you had as well?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a little bit closer, but like map one we played like really nervous and like really different. But like as the match went on, we just got a lot more confident, and I think it showed.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah,
So, speaking of that bracket, I'm gonna there are a couple of questions I'm gonna repeat with the interview I did with Zira, which will probably go out before this one. Just something it's interesting to kind of get that shared perspective. So I believe you, if I understand the bracket correctly, I think you play the winner or you play the runner up from Group C, which is kind of wide open at the moment. Could
yeah.
be Shikigami, Citrus, or Vice, any of those three.
So
Um,
probably
you think
Citrus.
Citrus? Yeah.
I mean the Vice probably won't win, and it's between Shikigami and Citrus, and I Citrus players should beat Shikigami.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Um, so speaking of, one of the Zira said the same thing, and one of the reasons he said he thought so was because of Orisa getting buffed a bit, which obviously helps Citrus. They'll take any opportunity to play that character.
hmm
What do you think of the patch notes that came out recently for the beginning of season 12? Do you have any knee jerk reactions on how that might potentially shake things up, even with Juno and the new maps not being a part of the stage three?
Yeah, so I don't think a lot of the meta will change, but because of the HP changes, I think it feels like good for me specifically, just because I feel like I'll get more value on my dives and get more kills, just because of the HP differences.
Mm-hmm.
Like other than that, I don't see like that much really changing. Maybe like some like few different like DPS swaps, like maybe like Sombra here and there, and like Hanzo here or there, just because of like Hanzo can like one shot a lot of people now, because that was like his big problem.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, like this patch didn't really change that much.
You don't
Like
think
other than like the Juno and like the maps and stuff,
yeah.
but
You don't
for
think
OWCS.
the diva nerf was particularly substantial, or are you not a team that's
I
running
mean,
very much diva anyway?
I mean, I just never thought Diva was that good. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, she's always like annoying to play against, but like the Monkey on her Brig should just beat the Diva if played correctly. Like
Mm-hmm.
Monkey will always counter Diva just because Bubble is too insane. That ability is so broken.
Yeah, they didn't touch Winston at all, really.
Yeah.
Um, some interesting. I think the Kiriko change is interesting. They buffed
Yeah.
Mercy, which I was not expecting, which maybe she'll get played 1% more. I don't know.
I don't see a world she gets played.
Yeah, I'm
She just kind of
baiting.
dies.
I'm baiting.
Yeah.
What uh Timeless played her in Swiss for an entire attack round, and I casted it with BPL. I was doing a little bit of Swiss stage casting with them, and I was like, are they trolling or is this like an actual strategy? I
It was
really could not
probably
tell.
troll. It depends who it was
It
against.
was against
It
I think it was against Shikigami, which is like
mm,
I'm like I feel
that might
like
that's like okay, that is true.
it's
Like
like
it could
right on the borderline. I feel
it is
like
yeah, it was probably troll,
yeah.
but like that was I was gonna say like I thought they were doing it against like a plat team or something, not
No, it was yeah.
like yeah.
Who knows? I think it was the day that they had Riker in because Kuffa was traveling or something. So maybe they
Oh, it
were
was probably like the
just.
last game then. Like they probably just
I think it
already
might have been
confirmed
yeah.
their spot, so
Yeah, might have
that's
just
probably
been
why.
going for it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I want to get into talking about the journey you've been on the past month or so. Obviously now you're with Nightmare. You were with NRG Shock, starting with well, the whole year, but only with NRG since DreamHack Dallas. So I'm assuming for you that there was a point where, or maybe there wasn't a point, maybe it was not like that, but was there a point where you felt like you needed to stick with Nightmare?
Um, I I don't think there was ever like a I must stick with Nightmare because in my head it was either like I try to get on Nightmare or I stay with NRG and like both situations are like good because both are like insane teams. So I think I gotta think about this one. Hold on.
Yeah, take your time.
Can you ask the question again?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's sort of a couple of parts of this. I guess I'm wondering if you could kind of lay out the timeline of your thought process, because obviously you get loaned to
Okay.
them for the Saudi tournament, and then when did
So
you start? When did the idea of staying with Nightmare after that tournament become something that you were seriously considering?
so the week leading up to the playoffs of EWC, I think when I was with NRG, we like didn't try as hard and like trolled scrims a bit, like me included too. Like I felt like I was a big part of it. So I think that's why we failed a lot and also like or not failed, but like that's why I don't think we made it. And I
Mm,
think if we tried harder that week, we would have made it for sure. But like that wasn't the reason why I left them for NTMR because of like that match like whatsoever. But like
mm,
that week leading up to it, it was like we just like trolled a lot and I it wasn't a good atmosphere, like at least for me, because I would just it was too fun. It was honestly too fun to play with them. That it was like bad, like a little
interesting.
bit. So playing with Nightmare the week leading up to EWC, like the scrims we were having, it just felt a lot more like professional and I felt like I was improving a lot more and like the team environment just felt a lot like just better for me personally. I
Mm,
don't think it was something that they had over NRG other than like maybe trying a little bit better, but or trying a little bit harder. But I think it's just more like it clicked easier for me. Especially because I've been best friends with Zira since I was like 13 years old.
mm,
So I was already nice with him. Same with like Z. Like I've known Z for a long time too. And like the only people I didn't really play on a team with was like Seeker and Admiral, but like they're really nice and like funny, so it all worked out.
mm,
And then I think like after our matches, when we didn't make groups, like I just reflected a lot and I was like, we played like really good. Like even though we didn't make it out of groups, like I thought we played phenomenal.
some would say you should
And
have, but
I mean, we should have, but we should have because we should have beat Virtus, not because of the rules. I mean, also, I mean, I guess because of the rules, but we really should have gone reverse swept.
mm,
But I mean, okay, anyways, right? Um, I just think the environment felt better for me, just personally. I think it just clicked better than NRG. It wasn't like a player v player thing or like a I have nothing bad against NRG. I think I thought to myself, which one do I have the best chance of making Sweden with, and which one will I improve more on?
mm.
And I think just Nightmare was just better for me personally.
When you describe Nightmare as being like a more professional environment, what are some of the factors that contribute to that description?
So I think with NRG, we really didn't do a lot of VOD reviews like before or after scrims. We'd kind of just like show up to scrim and then just like scrim and just like only play like 5 maps and then just like kind of joke and then like always end scrims early and then we wouldn't do VOD reviews after. But with Nightmare, we're able to like, do like a full 6 maps, right? For 2 blocks in a row and then like have a VOD before and after. And then people are more just like it felt like people cared more in my head at least. I'm sure the NRG guys do care.
Right.
But like the time being like in the EWC qualifiers, like we were all trolling. Like not like hard trolling, but like me included. We could have taken it a lot more seriously, for sure.
Hmm.
While as NTMR, it just felt a lot more like serious while also like being fun to play with them.
Was were financial considerations at all a factor in your decision, or was it basically equal between the two?
It was basically equal. I mean, like I'll be honest, like I'm getting paid like a little bit less on NTMR, but I don't really care like that much about the money. I just kind of want to win.
Right.
So, I mean, of course, if I was like getting paid like significantly less, like I don't think I would leave, but
Hmm.
I want to win.
Right.
So I'm gonna do what I want. Like I'm just gonna do what I think is the best chance of winning.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, speaking of money, it's also I feel worth mentioning that you were only kind of able to make this move because Nightmare had the resources to buy out your contract.
Yeah. And I'm
Um,
very grateful for Flack for doing that. Like that would Flack is honestly the go for that.
so it's like you sort of basically went to him and was like, can you do this? Can you make this
I mean,
move happen?
I wanted to, my team wanted to, and he pulled through.
Mm.
And I thought about it a lot too. I really did. It wasn't like a knee-jerk decision. It wasn't like a like this we have Seeker is better than PG or like Zero is better than Sid. Like I literally didn't like I honestly didn't I don't think I compared players.
Hmm.
I just like thought about like the pros and cons of like the scrim environment and like which one I'd improve faster with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, NRG now has you know, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if they use the buyout money to go and get UV and Tree and attack and
I will
to
say
fill out their
I did
bench.
not think that was gonna happen. I did not.
What did you think? Like when you, who did you in your mind? Who did you think they were gonna get to replace you in NRG?
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Kellen, to be honest. I thought it was
Mm.
either like Kellen, maybe Clear. That's why we got him because he didn't. Oh wait, okay, cut that out, cut that out. But I don't want. Never mind, never mind, never mind. I think Kellen.
You
I
were
think
able
I
to
knew we
get
were
him
gonna get
because
Kellen.
NRG didn't like. That's why partially why I'm assuming he was
Yeah.
available. That I mean, I don't think that's really leaking anything. That's just
Okay. Yeah.
that's I mean that's just sort of order of operations. Like
Yeah.
you can't sign somebody.
Clear was a steal in my head. He was a
Yeah.
steal to
No,
get.
I agree. I think he's a great player. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like Kellen, Clear, and like I think Cuffa as well were like the three in my head. I was like they'll probably get,
Hmm.
which are all three like really good replacements. I
Yeah.
think they're all insane. So
Kellen stocks seem to be up very high right now.
yeah.
Um, so like we're talking about this, I feel like it's remiss not to mention that some of your former teammates and some of their entourage, we'll say, have been calling you a specific thing in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I want to ask you. I want to ask you two questions about this. One is like, how does that make you feel?
So, it doesn't feel great when I turn on a stream and like five different people come in saying like you're a snake, what the heck, like stuff like that. But I know it's just because like they care about their team a lot, so it's okay. And then like anytime like they'll call like my ex or like NRG teammates will call me snakes, like it's just all jokes.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I think, but I'm pretty sure I'm like 99% sure it's
Mm-hmm.
all jokes.
I mean, you're in a room with several of them right now, so I would hope so.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I imagine it's complicated, and people probably have reasons of feeling maybe a little bit disappointed in certain outcomes, but we all have to do
I
what's
mean,
best
PGE
for.
is like the main guy in Overwatch right now, so it's like me leaving PGE. I mean, I knew I was gonna have a lot of backlash for it,
Hmm.
but
So you feel like actually the stuff that actually makes you feel that is more hurtful is when it comes from kind of random people on the internet and not necessarily from your
like
friends.
I wouldn't say it like affects me like bad, right? But it's not like I remember like one guy came in my chat. He was like, infected, you're a snake, piece of shit. Like he was just going off. I was like, damn, what the heck? But
It's not pleasant to
I mean,
hear, you know.
it's not pleasant, but it's like it's whatever.
Hmm. Yeah. So speaking of Clear, Nightmare brings in Clear, kind of a coup, some would argue. Him, you know, obviously again, kind of another signing, kind of only made possible by him kind of already having wanted to come back to America, right? Um, so how has that been for you, kind of working in a second tank into the rotation? I think some people, I would consider you to have kind of become a, well, actually, I'll ask it to you as a question. Do you consider yourself to be like a hyperflex tank?
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm the most flexible tank, like solo tank in America right now.
Mm.
Other than like someone, if you consider someone, but like just
That's that's
like
that's the title
NA.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how's that been, like, sort of bringing him in? And I know he was playing a bit during Swiss, but like, who knows? Like that is, you know, teams use that to work stuff out sometimes. What do you feel like is kind of the plan for bringing him in, or how do you feel like he fits into this team?
So he's been friends with me and Zira like since we were both 13 as well. So we've known each other for a very long time. And when he wanted to come back to America, like we just wanted to get him on the team because we're really good friends with him. And I also think he's like the best like off-tank player in NA.
Mm.
Like I think he deserves to be on like a starting team, honestly. But for now, like it's just good to have him in the back. And like right now, we aren't really integrating him just because I don't think there's a reason to with like not a lot of like Diva or like even like Junker Queen, like his like best heroes are like not like a must pick right now. Well, it's something as like Winston or like Ram or like Mauga, like stuff like that, where it's like you'll play that on like most maps. So right now he's not being integrated, but I could like see a meta for sure where if it's like, oh, like Diva, like let's just give her like 1,000 more HP, right? Like I think Clear would come in and he would be the best Diva in NA.
Mm-hmm. Do you
Yeah.
think like playing in Pacific with Daff and then Bleed, like, do you think that made him a better player?
Um, I honestly couldn't tell you, but I think like watching him in EWC, like he played insane at EWC. And I've always thought he's been a really good player.
Mm-hmm.
So that I might have to ask him about that. I don't know. He might have to say something about
Um,
that if he thought he improved because I didn't really follow APAC that much until
yeah.
EWC. But knowing
Honestly,
him, I'm sure he probably did.
I'm I'm a big fan of that Daff Bleed roster. I've interviewed their GM twice now, or I've had him on for two different videos now. So cards on the table. I'm just trying to kind of hype up my
I mean,
little
they're all
my
like amazing people. I met them at EWC. Like
yeah.
all of the players are really great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So earlier you mentioned kind of professionalism. I'm wondering, do the sort of do you feel like Nightmare has provided you maybe more in the way of resources uh, to help you succeed, maybe than NRG was willing or able to? Specifically, I'm
Uh,
talking about like resources in kind of the, mm, uh, for example, like the boot camp that Nightmare did.
so for that specifically, like we were gonna have the boot camp for Shock if we made it,
Right.
like the same boot camp as them, to be honest. Because Flack said this in an interview too. Like he was talking with both of us at the same time, and whichever one made it, he was just gonna fund. So
He was gonna fund Shock.
like he was gonna like help with the boot camp there. Maybe not like
Interesting.
fun exactly.
I
I'm not
see.
100%
Interesting.
sure, but like he was
Yeah.
gonna help with the boot camp if Shock made it for sure. So I wouldn't say it was more like an org v org thing. I mean, NRG did a lot. Like it was great to be a part of NRG, but
Yeah.
it was just more like how well I like melded with like the players and like the coaching staff and like, just like just the environment of like playing in it. I wouldn't say it was like a specific org thing.
Yeah.
Although Flack is like honestly Flack is incredible and like what he's doing for the scene is amazing.
Mm, yeah. I think I might have worded my question a little bit poorly. I'm wondering, like, do you think that this is also kind of a question that I asked Zira as well? Is like the resources that really Flack as kind of an individual is throwing around. Do you think that that makes players better?
Yes. Yes, 100%. Like the Miami boot camp we had, we got very close with that. And if we didn't have that, maybe I don't even think I might not have left NRG to be honest. Just because we had so much time to get close to each other. We spent like 3 weeks or like 2 weeks together, like in Miami and Saudi.
Mm-hmm.
So like the synergy just, it built insanely fast. So Flock definitely gave us like a lot of resources and it helped us like tremendously. So
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Flack.
Yeah. So far, Nightmare's kind of been on a roll. Um, what what do you feel like is what teams do you feel like really threatened by?
Um, just Toronto and like NRG too, but I'm not sure it's really like threatened by NRG. It's more just like I think we see each other as like equal competitors.
Hmm.
So it'll be a good match, but Toronto, like, it's gonna be hard to win that one for sure.
Yeah.
Toronto is too good.
I'm gonna be a little bit provocative. Would you say that there's maybe like a little bit of a maybe a friendly rivalry, but a bit of a rivalry kind of forming between you and NRG?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like ever since the EWC qualifiers, we've had that rivalry for
Yeah.
sure. It's like being like with NRG and students of the game, like I'm pretty sure we beat them like 5 or 6 times in a row, and then they beat us on one time. So we've always played against each other
Hmm. And
for
now
a
you're on
long
the
time.
opposite side of it.
Yeah. So,
The storylines write themselves, don't they?
ugh. Yeah.
So I want to talk about collegiate a little bit here. So why was Winthrop the choice that you made at this point in your life?
Um, because I think with Winthrop, we'll just win collegiate, and the school is just very nice. I think that was the main. Like, I wanted to just go to like a nice school, and win collegiate.
Hmm.
And I think Winthrop just offers both those things
I'm
compared to
assuming.
anything else.
Yeah. Did you have other offers? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
When did you decide on Winthrop?
Can I go check? Let me check.
I
I'll
wonder,
give
like,
you.
was it like
No, I'll give
recently
you a.
or at the beginning of the year or?
Let me give you a date because I don't even remember. It was like May.
Hmm.
It was like May.
Interesting. Okay. I'm
I think it's
also,
because when I was on Students of the Game and like
yeah.
Weeds came in and like he saw us playing and then like he just asked me like
Hmm.
Kaluj, like we want a main tank and Kaluj doesn't really like play in the game that much anymore. So I was like, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
down. Like for sure.
Did
This is
Wheats
awesome.
recruit you and Rack Attack kind of at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying it so far?
I mean, it's great. I got a good dorm, good roommate, good schedule. The lab here is amazing. The only issue is like, them being able to hear me in scrims. So that's something we're gonna have to work around, but other than that, it's great.
Yeah. I hope though it's not too hot there at the moment here in late August. I've been in South Carolina in August before. It can get very hot.
Yeah, it's a little bit hot, but it's been good so far at least.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
really good to hear. Yeah. Do you feel like it was a big confidence boost for you as like a player or for the team to beat a Korean team in FNATIC?
Yes, like 100%.
Just like getting the sort of monkey off your back, so to speak.
Well, I know like for our team, like it definitely like gave us a lot of confidence to play as a team, like for sure. For me, it was a lot of confidence like at the start of it, but like kind of like reeling myself back in. I still have a lot to work on as Winston and like Dong Hack, like that guy, I'll never stop glazing that guy. That guy is so good.
Hmm.
That guy is miles above me. So like as a team, it definitely gave us a confidence booster, and it gave me a confidence booster like at the time too. But right now, I'm just chilling. I haven't really thought about it that much, and just worrying about what's ahead.
Yeah. Well, that's the last question that I had here for you. Any other thoughts you want to share just on your soapbox?
I think I'm good. I
Cool.
think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time and good luck in stage 3.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Goodbye.